I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. Are there any speakers related to closed session topics? Okay. The board will now convene to close session.
It's like a ghost. It's not gonna happen.
I really got scared last time.
I know. That's it. Like YouTube is on back there.
The board will now convene open session and report out from closed session. Live streaming on YouTube will begin now for open session and Board of Education meeting. The URL for YouTube live streaming may be found on the NHUSD Board of Education website. President tonight, present? Seeing not present, we'll go ahead. 8.2, NHTA President, President Angeles, go ahead.
And community in the audience as well as at home. It gives me again a nice time to speak. I know as we close down this school year, there's some great things already happening in May. As you know, we want to again appreciate the passing of resolution for the Asian and Pacific Islander community. My work in both those communities is really an uplifting idea when it's recognized by a formal government agency such as yourself. We all know the contributions of both those communities which are again by themselves have several different pieces of that community, both Asian Pacific Islanders. I think New Haven has always been a cutting edge of recognizing that value as going to be evidence here. I don't want to spoil any thunder, but the biliteracy program that's here tonight with their students and parents is another showing how much is important to value a culture, in particular the idea of language, because we know language is not a detriment, it's a value. And for many years, Maine society has looked at it as a deficit. So now it's great to have it in forefront. And I appreciate it. And I congratulate from the New Haven Teachers Association to the parents and students here with us. I do also want to say, in terms of understanding our place in the Southern conversation, of course, right now we're in the consideration for our contract agreement. And I do want to recognize the work that the board has put together, as well as Dr. Thompson, his staff, as well as our group, our bargaining team, which is housed by Greg Snelling, Kevin Diggins, Darlene Crittenden, Doris Gallagher, Maniala, and myself, and David Hernandez from CTA, to really show a marked difference in conversation that unfortunately we've had here in New Haven. I think showing the collaboration of openness, understanding, and value in that conversation really makes a difference. We really look forward to that continued work. It also points the way to how much that conversation sets up the ongoing conversation to strengthening and improving the things you do here in the schools. We know too, one of the big things that everyone's already tackling, well, I think we're ahead of the game there, is our special ed services that really need to be looked at and readjusted and valued for how we kind of move with that community, as well as the students and the teachers that serve it. So with that in mind, I want to say thank you for the conversation. It's a great way to close the year out, considering we are in conversation about the contract as we speak, and we look forward to the announcement of the conclusion of that conversation. So again, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the moment of the hour. This is a recognizing our fifth grade, the Spanish two-way dual emergence, and we have Ms. Stevens to go ahead and present.
Good evening, President Gonzalez, members of the board, Superintendent Thompson, staff, and community. Can you show the picture, please? So 6 years ago, nobody cries at board meetings, right? I'm gonna take a moment. Don't want this to be recorded. But over 7 years ago, I had the privilege of starting our first dual immersion program in the district. And it was a lot of work. And the families here before you have trusted us as the first class of enrolling their child in our Spanish immersion program. We have tried with our staff that's here tonight. Miss Mendoza, where are you? Yes, raise your hand, Miss Mendoza. She was one of our first teachers. All the students had her in kindergarten here, and she's been in our program and supporting the students even through tonight. So I do want to state that our students, while they demonstrated their proficiency 6 years ago at a board meeting, today they're going to show you their elevated proficiency. And I want to brag a little bit. Their Spanish fluency is higher than an AP high school level Spanish. So that's something our families and students who have worked really hard to obtain is a moment that they should be really proud of. Tonight, they're going to present a couple of poems about being dual language learners. And after that, we would like to invite the board to pass out their biliteracy medals of celebration and honor. Is something that we want to make sure that happens at every transition. I'll be here 3 years later for another transition. So with that, can our class come up, please?
Hello, and thank you for inviting us to the board meeting this evening.
We will be reciting two poems for you. The first one is called Bilingüe or Bilingual and is written by Alma Flor Ada.
The second poem is called No te rindas or Don't give up and is written by Mario Bentit.
We hope you enjoy them.
At this time, I'd like to invite the board to pass out the honors for our students.
Yeah, back row maybe come forward and then everybody turn around, face out. And then front in a little bit. And have all of you kind of spread, you don't have to move certain.
Right, smile big. Get a picture? Have a round of applause.
Parents are welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting if you'd like. We have a lot of great things to talk about, but if you don't want to stay, follow your seats out.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on with 9.3. This is recognition of student board member Daniel Perez. Oh, I'm sorry, we'll go first. 9.2. Fatima Samim. Is there anybody who would like to read the board resolution? Okay, Vice President Kumar, go ahead.
Recognition of student board member Fatima Samim. Whereas Fatima Samim has served as the James Logan High School student representative to the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education for the 2023-2024 school year. And whereas Fatima Samim has contributed to the district, its schools, and its community, and truly distinguished herself in public service. And whereas Fatima Samim has consistently represented the best interests of the students of the New Haven Unified School District. And whereas Fatima Samim has exemplified the ideal of civic service in her steadfast representation of youth in our community, and by her example, continued the tradition of professionalism in student governance. And whereas Fatima Samim will soon complete her term as Student Board of Education representative to the New Haven Unified School District. And whereas Fatima Samim will continue her senior year as ASB president at James Logan High School. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education recognizes the importance of the participation of Student Representative Fatima Samim, and be it further resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education commends Fatima Samim for her service to the district and contributions to the Board of Education, and be it further resolved that the New Haven Unified Board of Education wishes Fatima Samim the best of luck and continued success in all future endeavors. Passed and adopted the 7th day of May, 2024 by the following roll call vote.
Okay, may I have a motion and a second for resolution number 065-2324?
So moved. Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Oppose? Okay, okay, passes unanimous. Do we want to, before we take pictures and give out do we want to go with the next resolution there, even though? And then we'll go ahead and take pictures. Okay, all right. May I have a motion and a second for resolution number 066-2324, recognition of student board member Daniel Perez?
So moved. Second.
Is there anybody who would like to read the resolution? Okay, trustee Rebecca. Go.
Okay, recognition of student board member Daniel Perez. Whereas Daniel Perez has served as the Conley Carabello High School student representative to the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education for the 2023-24 school year. And whereas Daniel Perez has contributed to the district, its schools, and its community and truly distinguished himself in public service. And whereas Daniel Perez has consistently represented the best interests of the students of the New Haven Unified School District. And whereas Daniel Perez has exemplified the ideal of civic service and his steadfast representation of the youth in our community, and by his example, continued the tradition of professionalism in student governance. And whereas Daniel Perez will soon complete his term as Student Board of Education representative to the New Haven Unified School District. And whereas Daniel Perez will attend Ohlone College this fall, where he will major in business and later transfer to the university. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education recognizes the importance of the participation of student representative of Daniel Perez. And be it further resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education commends Daniel Perez for his service to the district and contributions to the Board of Education. And be it further resolved that the New Haven Board of Education wishes Daniel Perez the best of luck and continued success in all future endeavors. Passed and adopted the 7th day of May 2024 by the following roll call vote.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call the question. It said a roll call vote on the resolution, so roll call.
Aye.
Hernandez.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, pass unanimous. Before we go on, is there anybody that would like to speak comments for Fatima Samin? Okay. Trustee Rebecca.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, working with you, and good luck. You still have, you are a junior right now, right? So we'll see you, and congrats on being ASB president. Thank you.
Again, congratulations. I know that there's a lot of time and work that goes into this, and for you to tackle it your junior year is really remarkable, because the juniors the hardest year as far as I understand. And so thank you for all that you've been able to do and represent the student body.
It is commendable to manage this along with your schoolwork. So thank you for all your time, and it was great having you serve on board. Thank you.
Trustee Hernandez.
Thank you so much for all of your work. I can see that you're going to do great major things later on in life, as you've already begun now. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great summer. Enjoy it.
Yeah, and like my colleagues, congratulations. It's been an honor serving with you. My niece has a class with you and just had wonderful things to say about you and how brilliant you are. And so I know you're going to go on and do something successful. Remember us little people here. Yeah, so congratulations. The year went by so quick though. At this time, we're going to go ahead and pass out, give you something, and we can take a group picture together. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, get a little closer.
Okay, student trustee Fatima Samim is gonna say something.
Okay, thank you all so much for having me on the board. It has truly been a pleasure this past year. It definitely has gone by super quick. I'm very glad to have spent my time connecting and learning and meeting all of you, trustees and Superintendent Thompson. I have certainly learned a lot that I can take with me into my senior year and also into my adulthood. I'm forever grateful to have had this opportunity to immerse myself within our district and to learn more about it and just to understand how much of a catalyst we are of student empowerment and learning, just like we saw tonight with TWDL. And I am truly, truly proud of being a part of such an amazing district. Thank you all once again. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Alex. And then unfortunately, Daniel Perez is not here tonight. It was great working with him. He's not here. I wish he was here to tell him, perhaps, I don't know, there's no more meetings.
One more, we can see if he'll.
Okay,
Last week of school though.
Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to 9.5. This is the end of the year review. Is there anybody?
I'm going to start us off.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. So the purpose, as you know, of this report is to summarize for the board what we've worked on this year and what we've got done, what we didn't achieve, and where we're heading next. And see if the clicker works. I'll start it off, and then the staff in charge of each of the individual goal areas will give a summary. So do I? Oh yeah, let me check and see. That's always a good thing to. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so whoop. Boy, now I'm really getting ahead. Okay. So this year, if we're going to summarize, I'll paint the picture in broad strokes here. So the first part of the year, we spent a lot of time developing the plan. We're kind of that year that's in between. Last June, we finished our three-year strategic planning cycle. This year, we continue moving the initiatives that we've been working on forward, while at the same time building a new plan and preparing for that new plan so that we start the year and next year on July 1, ready to start the new three-year strategic planning cycle. So you'll get a little bit of what we've worked on and from each department area, and a little bit about what we've been doing to prepare for the next cycle. So that's the plan. All right. There we go. So just a reminder, I alluded to this a moment ago, but if you take a look at 23-24, in the strategic planning process, one of the reasons why we push really hard to get it done in the fall, gather our data, go through all the vetting, multiple iterations of the goals, and have the board adopt it mid-year is because in that last phase, the preparation phase, it's pretty important for us to start doing a lot of the legwork so that we can hit the year running in year one, starting July 1. It's also important because our LCAP and all of our SPS site SPSAs and all of our other documents are built around the strategic plan, and all of us at the district level and at the site level are building our plans for next year. So having those goals approved in January was pretty critical, and the board did that, and we've been working hard moving forward. The goals that, just as a reminder, the goals that we adopted, there are action items below them, but just in broad strokes, again, the first two goals are student goals. And, oh, is this different? This one's not. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I think it's working. Thank you, though. So again, these are the goals. We won't, you're very familiar with them because you adopted them, so I won't go over them in detail. But again, the documents that we are creating moving forward to start next year are built around these goals and the action initiatives that are associated with each one. There we go. So moving forward, we have those 5 goals, but then we are also in the process and have been in the process of gathering data this year, starting with our equity report card, our dashboard data last year, and our current LCAP annual survey. All of that data informs the specifics that we're going to be working on as it relates to each of the goals in year 1 of our strategic plan. Just we're at a nice moment in time as well. Our LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan, it has a 3-year cycle as well, and we're perfectly in sync. So we are in the process of developing a 3-year LCAP and a mesh. We need to mesh it with our 3-year strategic plan. So it worked out well. So we took all of this data. Ms. Stevenson's team has been working hard with Ms. Heldman and Mr. McNamara as well to make sure that we have draft goals for our LCAP, and we actually had our LCAP advisor or district parent advisory meeting last week to review some of that. But anyway, all of that stuff, like I said, as it relates to the strategic plan and some of the things that we've been working on move forward, they all start to mesh together, and all of that comes to you in June. So, but that's not, well, more on that to come. Tonight is more about what we have been doing and how in each of the individual goal areas we've been preparing for year 1. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Stevens, who's going to talk about our current goal 1 and next year's goal 1.
Expanding and transitioning into middle school. And not last but not least on this slide, I want to highlight the pilot that we integrated DSIS Dakota courses into Logan directly, which by the end of this year, we would have students completing 400 courses and moving towards graduation in terms of credit recovery. So those are the areas I like to highlight. Let's see if I have control to move forward. I don't. I like to move forward to the next slide. So in terms of preparing for goal 1 next year, next slide, please. These are the new adopted goal in our strategic plan for goal 1. These are 4 action initiatives for us. And based on those action initiatives, next slide, please. These are the areas that we're going to be focusing on moving into 24-25. We're looking to expand our UC Davis partnership CSTEM program, where engineering, robotics, science, and mathematics is going to be integrated in all our elementary schools and our science specialist courses across the school district. We're also going to pilot CSTEM and several algebra courses at Logan and looking at how we could support students in learning algebra in more of a hands-on way into passing and completion and meeting the mathematics standards there. Something new that we're going to bring to Cyril's Elementary is the Youth Cinema Project. We're really excited about that. That has a really great background in terms of studies conducted by Stanford that highlights how use of film, writing, production leads to literacy and promotes language written in oral expression. A couple of more highlights I want to point out here is our continued partnership with Chabot and Ohlone College, where next school year, they actually are going to provide college courses that are UC and CSU transferable directly on our campus. So we're really excited about that. Moving into goal 2. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So in goal 2, around equity, access, and achievement, these are some of the highlights this year. As you know, that we've been focused on dignity and belonging as a core value and focus across the district with our staff, our students, and our community. So with that, we did launch an equity summit that was very successful and popular beginning of the year. And throughout the school year, we conducted empathy interviews and dignity training at our secondary sites and really leading a group of students to lead the work at their sites. What I also want to highlight is we've been able to offer about 40 sessions of our anti-bias workshop for New Haven equity leaders. There are teacher leaders that's also going to help us carry out the work around equity and access. Next year, next slide, please. In our new goal 2, I do it myself now. Okay. Go 2. Still around equity and access. This is looking at our conditions, and we have 4 action initiatives here highlighted for next school year. Based on those initiatives, these are our goals for 24-25. Something that was presented in just the last board meeting is Daybreak telehealth services. I do want to answer the board question from last time. They do provide services during holiday and the summer. So they do provide year-round services. So we're excited that we can bring this type of service for all our students in New Haven. So that's coming up starting in August. We're also looking as we integrate PLA into Dakota Independent School Study. We're also looking at rebranding the school, the name, and getting our community input around that. That's going to be part of our work next year. And we're going to expand our Eliminate Hate Speech campaign. We started the last couple of years really wanting to promote a more positive climate and culture in our school campuses by focusing some of the words that are really harmful for our community and our student body and family. So that's going to be a concerted effort from us in Goal 2 next year. Okay. So with that, I would like to introduce Derek McNamara for Goal 3.
Okay, hello, everybody. So this year, I thought when we finished the strategic plan, I'm like, okay, John, we're done, right? And we can actually take a rest. And it's like, actually, this was a pretty busy year. The planning that goes into it, the foresight that we have to think about the next 3 years. I'm lucky, I have a small department, but Camila Green in particular, my coordinator, she and I really just tag team everything. And she and I really work with the other departments, especially digital services, who really helps carry the message forward. Many of the things we do, whether it's newsletters, magazines that they've created now, it really is kind of a team effort. Then we push things out to the sites as well. So in any case, this particular year, some of the things that we did do that we knew it was going to be in place, but these are things that we had to get done this year, collaborating and doing negotiations. That may be my last negotiations, I'm hoping, that I ever have to do. And that was something that was very It was very positive. So I'm glad that the work that we did through the strategic plan really laid the groundwork for that. In addition to that, the EMS study that we talked about in closed session, that process is nearing its conclusion, and then we're going to be working on that. And that'll be a big part of the first year of the strategic plan once we do the reclassifications. The engagement piece, one of the things that John and I had talked about when he first talked about the strategic plan, he had said there will probably never be an iteration of the strategic plan that does not have employee engagement as part of it. And that's one of the things that we sort of take for granted, that our employees are here. They're great, but we have to always remember to celebrate them. And one of the things that we've done last year was the Cheers for the Year. Some of you might have attended that. We're doing the second one this year. We're anticipating more people coming. There's a lot of people on the list that are getting celebrated, whether they're years of service, retirees, and then the employees of the year. So a lot of positive buzz from last year. We run a really tight program, and I got people in and out, but really people had a good chance to celebrate each other. So that was nice. The magazine I mentioned earlier, again, it's not just personnel that does it. All the departments, all the sites are part of this goal. But the New Haven magazine, Victor Gutierrez and John Matos, his staff, they did I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty neat, some of the stuff that they put into it, really highlighting. If people on the outside see what goes on in New Haven, this magazine is going to be a big part of that. The celebrations of staff, we talked about the last year of the strategic plan. We had a culminating event. It was really sort of district-led. Now we pushed it out, and we've been pushing it out, and that'll be continuing, that the sites are the ones who are going to be responsible more for doing the celebrations, whether it's monthly, and that you can tell is already getting traction. We applied for a teacher residency grant. This is one of the things that throughout the county, they had asked districts, there's induction that we do now, but there's also hard to fill positions. The county has recognized this, and this teacher residency grant is allowing us to find and fill positions that are really difficult. In fact, the state has challenge. This is a way for them to give us money to help scout and find more talent out there. One of the other things we did, and again, this is still this year, is the pathways for TK has been expanding. It's going to expand again next year, all the way through 2026. We have a thing that we entered into called the Bridge program that allows special ed teachers to get up to date with their credentialing, in how difficult it is to keep up to date. There's special ed expectations in their credentials they have to get done. This Bridge program allows our teachers to continue to teach and still get that coursework done. And so it's a partnership that we work with, this Bridge program. Reach University is something that we've entered into a contract this year, and it'll really get into full swing next year, where paraprofessionals and other classified employees can actually be on a pathway to get a teaching credential. Many people here are classified wannabe teachers, and so this is really a great opportunity for them. The transition to frontline onboarding, it sounds like a small thing, but we have been paper-driven in personnel and in payroll for a long, long time. This is one of the first times we're going to have a full online onboarding. 40 pages instead of printing it. You can do everything online and then submit. And that's something that's it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but we're trying to have a full launch this coming year. So these are some of the things we've been working on. Even though I thought it was going to be a down year with nothing new, we've actually been doing a lot. Staff wellness. So one of the things that John and I have talked about after we heard that Washington Hospital had done some of their reporting on the obesity problems and the health just in general in this district, the staff wellness is really taking hold throughout the district. Just at the district office, John and I have talked a lot, and Camila and I talk a lot about what can we do at least to start small? Because when we have candy and donuts and that's all that's ever offered, that's what people eat, right? It's just like a kindergarten at Kitayama when my kids were there. I brought donuts one day and they're like, we don't do that here. You can't bring these. They only have little healthy snacks, carrots and celery and things like that. And actually, even though I was like kind of shocked at first, now I look back and I'm like, wow, they were way ahead of the game. Right now, I know even my own office staff who never liked to eat my vegetables, now they're asking me for my cucumbers and tomatoes. And it really is seeing people get that sort of wellness mentality. It's starting to become infectious throughout the district office, and you can feel it happening throughout the community too. You know about the employee assistance program and the Care Solstice. A lot of the stuff that we talked about that goes on for students and families also goes on with staff. Preparing for next year, some of the things that we've talked about getting people to actually have advancement opportunities. Getting people to feel good was the first year, right? The first 3 years of the strategic plan. Now there are opportunities for people to advance. We talked about paraprofessionals. We're also going to be starting a cohort for future administration. We talked in closed session about how difficult it is to hire principals in this district. So getting people who are aspiring potentially administrators, that's something we're actually going to be starting. Camille and I are working with principals to identify people who might be future principals. The recognition opportunities too, again, not just district-led, but having sites have opportunities to acknowledge and celebrate their employees, all employees, on a monthly basis is the goal. And then these are some of the initiatives that are going to be on the strategic plan for the next 3 years. I mentioned the cohort, the class size caps that we're going to be working on with NHGA. It sounds like a small thing, but it's a really big thing. And it's going to be changing the way that we approach staffing and how we do enrollment projections and such. So it's going to be a really big change. The TOSAs being centrally located here and then pushing out is going to be a different model, but it's going to support staff and students in a different way. Customer service training, whether it's through our office or through Hui's office, to help staff in the central offices or in the site offices and how they deal with the public is going to be a focus. The residency program I talked about, and then the REACH thing I talked about as well. But one last piece is on strengthening the substitute pool. It's still an issue. We raised the rates a couple of times. The board, thank you for that. It's still not enough. And so we need to look internally and how can we improve the talent actually of the subs and give them more strength and also keep them here. They want to be here. They want training. And so giving them PD opportunities is something we're looking at as well. Number 4 is John Maddox.
Thank you. So goal 4 is community outreach and engagement and advocacy. And we did a lot this year. I'll go out of order of the bullets here, but in order of time, I mean, in September, we had our State of the District event, and that's something that seems like a long time ago, but it was a brand new way of doing it. We invited community leaders, political leaders, and it was a really successful event. And that was a wonderful way to help launch this school year. As you are all intimately familiar with, we moved our Celebrating Schools meetings to the PAC. That seemed to be a wonderful fit. It worked well for the families, for the community, for our performers and our principals. We're looking forward to kind of building on that success moving forward. We had a little event a week or so ago. You might not have heard of it. New Haven Day. It was bigger, better than it's only our second annual. And so after the first one, we kind of talked about what would be what was our learning and what changes can we make. We made I think the team made some really good changes, and we're meeting again to even further refine that very successful community event. The parents seemed to enjoy it. We had tons of performers. We had folks in our booths all day. It was a really positive experience. Also in community outreach, we've really worked on our communication in terms of its dependability, its optics, how it looks, making sure it's easy to read. As you know, we also adopted a new resolution calendar that I think is very inclusive and respectful of our community. And if you haven't had a chance, I encourage you to go on our website and check out the resources that are available for teachers. We really put some time and energy into that. We'll be continuing to build that up. As Derek mentioned, we had our inaugural We Are New Haven magazine, digital magazine. We're very proud of that magazine. And it highlights, as was said, teachers, a lot of classified staff, a couple of students. We are learning from that. We're going to build better on that. And we're very excited. We did some advertising to really work to get our enrollment up. And as a part of that, we are really kind of focused on metrics. So that again is something that we're going to be building on. And then finally, we started this year with an opportunity to work with office staff and other staff on creating welcoming office environments. I think we had about 20 folks there. It was really well attended. And we're hoping to build on that as well. So for next year, whoops, I skipped like 9 slides there. For next year, we are again working on getting information to our parents, our community in a way that is effective and it works. And we also, if you look at kind of the action initiatives on this goal, there's a lot of a renewed focus on working with families, workshops, community engagement, and really making sure that we are strengthening our relationships with our families in order to help provide services to our families. And as a number of the things that we're working on, looking at building on for next year, we have a number of different ways that we communicate with families, especially at the secondary with Canvas and Aries and Parent Square. We're going to be looking at a way to streamline that a little bit more and hopefully get to kind of a one-stop shop. It would be really cool to have a New Haven app that folks would just click on and it would take them to where they need to be. We have, as you know, we've expanded our educational options. We want to make sure our community knows about that. There is, with our FSAs, we're really going to be working on outreach and making sure that our families have access to the things they need access to and to help support them with parent workshops. And we're going to increase, we also, as you know, are going to be working and developing and implementing our bond communications plan for over the summer for the fall. So there's a lot going on in Goal 4. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Ms. Heldman.
All right, last but not least is Goal 5. The focus areas under Goal 5, all mostly fall within my areas of responsibility, are mostly behind the scenes. They're not in the front line of the profession that we are in. Therefore, these kinds of pauses and updates are actually really good, because even though a lot of these things are very tangible, no building and now there's a building, like we just had one earlier this afternoon, these updates gives us a reason to pause and say, oh yeah, we did that, so there was nothing there before and look at what we have. So these are great. Speaking of that, successes and accomplishments. So these are the things that we are calling to your attention that we are celebrating with regards to Goal 5. A lot of the focus, of course, are with sustainability in our facilities and our learning environments. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is our breakfast count actually has been higher than ever. Our Director of Food Services, Yas, had been being very clever and creative with regards to trying different items. He had held certain pop-ups where at certain schools where they can test different offerings. So we can see that that's helping. And of course, the universal meal helped us with that as well. He had been actively applying for grants. Actually, most of those grants will allow him to remodel one of the areas at Logan where it's a popular hangout. So we're going to refurbish that so that we could serve more food in a better environment and different offerings and more offerings. A few months ago, the board received a grant from CalShape. This is from the Energy Commission, and to the tune of 1.8 million. So talking about sustainability and efficiency, I just want to highlight that actually creates a path for us, because what we're hearing is there's more money on that. And as you know, our facilities, our systems continue to age. They continue to be beat up year after year. And so we could always use those kinds of things. So in support of our action initiatives for Goal 5, these are the things that we were able to accomplish. I would be remiss if I do not point out some bright spots in our enrollment. It is no secret that 2/3 of school districts in the state are declining in enrollment. So in our little world, we're seeing, let me put it this way, we're still going to be declining, but comparing to what used to be an average 260 decline from year to year in the last 10 years, the last 2 years have been promising. So we're seeing that to be leveling up, to what level? Let's hope. But clearly what happens in terms of the work in goal number 3, especially in goal number 4, are playing a role in what we're seeing in terms of our enrollment bright spots. Now, moving on to what we're looking forward to. Did I do that right? Preparing for the next year. These are our goals for goal 5, under goal 5. And you can see there our action initiatives. And based on those, overarching a safe, innovative, and sustainable learning environments. Based on those action initiatives, these are the objectives that we are setting for ourselves with regards to the coming year. I'm going to pick and highlight some of them. You are all aware that phase 1 of the security surveillance project is completed. So we're moving on to phase 2. We are in the middle of the 2 very exciting projects for the 2 middle schools in terms of the track and field and some drop off for safety, students and staff. I mentioned to you earlier about the grant that we received, and there could be more that could help us with our aging systems, HVAC, and a lot of the things that we know are just part of how you maintain facilities and plant. One of the things that we are looking into is the Green Ribbon Schools Award. We looked at those criteria, and it looks like we really are doing a lot of those already. So let's be recognized for that. So that's one thing that we are aiming for in the coming year. You may recall in 2020 was when we did our demographic study, and that was before the last census. Since then, there's also been a lot of generational movement, whether it's pandemic or any other factors. So one of the things that we should be doing, and we're setting that as a goal, is to update those again for this coming year. And last but not least, there's been a lot of work towards looking at a bond initiative for the November 2024 election. So it feels like a long list, but we'll get it done with the support of everyone. And I believe that is the end of it. Thank you.
So that's what we've been working on and where we're heading. So if there's any questions for me or any of my team, it's a great time for that.
Trustee Nishar?
Yeah, great work all around. I do have a couple questions. So regarding goal 3, does staff believe that we should be bumping our sub pay again, and or aside from compensation, what are the other things that we think we can do to strengthen our sub pool, if it's not just compensation, or if compensation would help as well?
Regarding the subpay, that's one of the things we're going to be looking at with the county. They're going to give us the breakdown of what everybody's going to be offering starting in July. And then so ahead of the school year, we would probably bring something to you if we believe we were not competitive. I believe right now we're still like towards the upper third. And so we want to be in that range. If we're below that or below the median, then we would bring something to you, but we don't have the data yet. The second thing is giving the teacher or the substitute teachers opportunities. A few of them asked last year when we did the day before school started, the PD day, they asked if they could be a part of that. And that kind of stimulated us to think, well, there's going to be other opportunities for PD, could be at sites, could be trainings that we do, having them give offerings for those so that they can actually get better at the work. A lot of them want to be teachers at some point. And so they're really trying to figure out, how do I get better at this too? Because it is a struggle. I've been a substitute. I was a substitute for 2 years before I actually started here. And it is hard. If you don't know what you're doing, you're just kind of like babysitting. If you actually know what you're doing and you know the instructor or know the curriculum a little bit, it actually makes it a lot easier. So I think we want to find ways to make it easier for teachers to be substitutes. So
And
that's
so
another thing.
Reach University is not anything. It's only for classified. It's not for
The Reach University one, it can be. It can be a pathway. We're actually targeting people here who have expressed interest, who are in the para ranks, who have expressed interest. But there could be other people who are paras, or not paras, but substitutes who might be interested, and maybe we can put them on a different path. Usually there's a different pathway for that. These paras actually don't have any schooling, so they can actually get a fast track into a credential. And so because they need to get their actual BA first, and then you get your credential. So it's kind of a dual thing that happens with that.
Okay, thanks.
I would like to piggyback on trustee Nishihira's point about the substitutes there. Because that did catch my eye too. But the part that caught me was the retired teacher rate though. I'm just looking around, not necessarily the room, but districts district-wide, other districts, my district, this district. There's a lot of staff that are moving into that part of their life. They're looking at retirement, possibly early retirement. I know I'm looking down that way as like, well, I'm getting closer, each year I get closer to retiring. That's very an incentive to retire early is hey, you can be a freelance substitute teacher. That'd be great to really like market that and really incentivize it to not necessarily retire early, but here's an option for you. You can make just the same amount of money and you got your pension. So maybe possibly something going in that direction. My other district, LAUSD, their substitutes are unionized and they are the district offers them professional development, and is definitely a stepping stone into going into the teaching career. So that's another possibility. So, but I definitely professional development, treating them like they're part of the district, not substitutes where they're at various districts. They're mostly at our campuses. That'd be great. I know in Oakland they have every site has a like a permanent substitute teacher there because somebody who calls in for at each site every day, and so that there's that one substitute for that site. I mean, there's a lot of ideals for the substitute. I'm just bouncing them off, but I would like to hear more if you can put together your team and really investigate that more, see what's working out there. So, all right, that's it. Anybody else would like to say anything or comments, questions? Okay, Trustee Rafe.
I'd just like to thank everyone for all the work, amazing work that's been done, and thank you so much.
Trustee Nishir.
Last thing is on goal 5. I wanted to thank staff for seeking the eligibility for the Green Ribbon School Award. That was something that I had brought back from CSBA at the last AEC. And I had a feeling that we were already doing a lot of the things, and it's good to, it would be good to position us in a way to be possibly eligible for some other funding opportunities as well. So if we're able to do that, that would really put us in a good spot. The one thing that I wanted to call out in terms of goal 5 for the things that we're going to be doing next, SB 1383, which is being enforced now this year as a part of January, requires, among other things, to have sorting stations at our food food delivery at our food distribution areas. This week or the last couple of weeks, Stop Waste from Alameda County Waste Authority was at Kitayama and at Hillview Crest rolling out the sorting stations. And one of the things that I will be asking staff for consensus on is figuring out what we need to do to roll that out across all of the schools in the district at some point. So that'll be a conversation that I'll probably ask staff to engage to see what we need to do to kind of put all the ducks in a row to make that happen. So thank you for that. That's it.
Thank you. And I apologize for jumping. I didn't realize we're not finished, but
No worries.
I had to piggyback on that topic of substitutes before I lost that train of thought.
No problem.
Okay, moving on to the informational items. So this is an update on our proposed 2024 bond measure. Ms. Hillman.
Okay. Good evening once again. So this was the last item on the goal 5 that we are setting for the coming year. And this evening, I just wanted to provide a highlight or an overview of the work that we've already been putting together in the last few years, especially the last most recent year regarding a bond initiative for 2024, for November 2024 election. So like I said, you know, what we've done and where we are now, and what are the following steps that would need to be taken, and then what we are asking for the board tonight. At a later part of the agenda, there will be a separate action for that, for item 3. So I've listed here all the discussions, meetings, review of task timeline, a deep dive on the facility master plan that was completed in 2020. As you can see, there's been quite some effort in terms of looking into this. This demonstrates the, if I may, you know, careful consideration, thoughtful planning by this board with regards to the right timing, with regards to going back to the community for support for a bond to support our ongoing capital facilities needs. It's no different than our home. You know, they continue to age, they need maintenance, and the changing landscape of instruction delivery. I mean, those are the things that we keep in mind when we are facility master planning. Not gonna, a lot of these are, all of these are links, by the way, so you can revisit, you know, those types of discussions. The latest event that we took on was when we reviewed the results of the survey, which was conducted earlier part of this year. We did that in a study session in March. That also, the information on that is attached. It's linked on there, but just to revisit that, it was a 22-minute survey. We had nearly 500 samples, so that's a very good number. And if we were to summarize, you know, the gist of what we really wanted, we wanted to get public opinion. We wanted to test and pulse our community in terms of the support for an upcoming bond. These are the numbers that we got from that, the results from that survey. They are very positive, very strong. The one thing that we have to remember is there, you know, that not to take these for granted. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done to make sure that we are reaching out and engaging our community so they understand, you know, the things, the ongoing needs that we have to support our teaching and learning. I also want to mention, I was thinking about it today, this time last year was when we launched the first of the 7 series video of our, I call it our Thank You Community for Measure M campaign. We had those, and we were, they were by themes, and we were publishing them. I think of them as a report card saying, here's what we did with the funds that you entrusted us with Measure M from when you authorized it in 2014. So those are all good reminders of, you know, why we're seeing these strong numbers that we are seeing. With that said, what do we need to move forward? And like I said earlier, there's an item on the later part of the agenda asking the board's commitment to direct staff in moving forward or whatever that decision might be. And when we say moving forward, we have certain milestones and timelines that we are required to meet. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and that first timeline, which is sometime in August, which is we need to call the election first. And in between now and then, there are some non-advocacy outreach that we need to do, non-advocacy information that we have to publish. We have to, at some point, form a political action committee to support us with the campaign. We have to inform and put some information out there to our community. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And tonight we wanted to revisit the work that we've accomplished and where we want to go from here. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Seeing no hands, no. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are now on items from the board and superintendent. So I'll go ahead and go to the far right and then come over this way. So student trustee, Fatima Samim, go ahead.
Okay, so James Logan is ending the school year with all the end of the year festivities. And one of those was New Haven Day, and I'm super proud to have hosted it for the second time at James Logan. I was there, all the performances were amazing. We did change it up from last year. Instead of having everything on the big green, we did split it up and we had some of the performances on the track instead, which I absolutely loved. All the tents, all the schools, all the programs there were amazing, and I really enjoyed my time there. Juniors have completed SBAC testing. Thankfully, we had ELA, science, and math. And yes, I did have to take some as well too. It was just for 2 weeks, but it was okay. And on the topic of exams, we do have AP exams coming up as well as finals, and seniors are checking out. It's also Certified Appreciation Week. So thank you to all staff, teachers, everybody. And yeah, some other festivities that we did have were just prom and powder puff that were within the last few weeks. So it's been super jam-packed, but we're ending the year off on a great note. Thank you.
Trustee Hernandez, thank you.
I just want to say thank you to all staff and admin for all the hard work that everyone's been doing this past school year. We're in the final stretch, and make sure to have your coffee on hand. Thank you, everyone.
Trustee Nishara?
Yes, I also was at New Haven Day on the 27th, and the improvement from year over year was actually very, very impressive. The layout was I think it was more compact and more optimized, so I think that led to higher engagement across families. And I think that it can only go up from here. I think I'm very, very excited, and it's surprising that it's only the second year that we've done it because it's come along so well. On May 21st, I'll be at the scholarship luncheon for New Haven Schools Foundation. And on the 6th of May, I was at the Stop Waste Assembly at Hillview Crest Elementary, like I was the couple weeks before at Kitayama. As I'd mentioned a little bit earlier, they are starting to roll out their sorting station and their different recycling. And the assembly is really about informing and educating the kids on what goes in which bin. They also did an audit the week before to see, they went through all of the waste that was tossed, and they identified things that could have been recycled, or and I think it was around 86% of the stuff that was in the landfill could have been someplace else, whether it be compost or recycling or whatnot. And then yesterday I was at the D3A meeting, and you know, some things that were identified were, you know, in alignment with goal 2, which is focusing on our culture of dignity and belonging. Our Zetha Nobles presented the talk that she gave at the California Association of African American Superintendents and Administrators, the PD, in March. And that was really all a product of the work that D3A has done, as well in coordination also with Dr. Thompson's staff. I think it was, you know, and it was really centered around the usage of the N-word and how the community, you know, how the community will navigate us through that. And it was really interesting to learn all of the new perspective, or all of the perspectives all in one spot. We will probably be seeing some things coming through in terms of resolution and possibly a policy that this board will have to acknowledge and talk about. So that should be coming relatively soon. And then lastly, we are at the point of the year where we're doing all of our end of year activities. And I got all of my RSVPs into Gina earlier today. I'll be at a lot of them. I will be missing IVC promotion because my daughter Bella will be graduating from San Jose State that day, and I can't miss that. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rafay.
Firstly, I'd like to thank all the staff for the Teacher Appreciation Month. And then I'm just like, today we got to attend the Eastern Elementary's ribbon cutting of the it was an amazing event over there. And again, as Trustee Nishara mentioned, like end of the year happening, like the events are about to come, and it's really so I'll be also attending most of them. And that's for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Kumar?
Thank you. I am still recovering from co-chairing the New Haven Fund Run. So it was 2 months of hard work, but I'm really happy to share we had close to 300 participants this year, which is double of what we had last year. So it was incredible. I also want to highlight our community partners that really came out and helped. So we had local scout troops who sent us 70 volunteers, 70 volunteers. We had them all around the course. Dr. Thompson was on his bike, making sure they're all safe, and they were our course monitors, which was great. I also want to give a shout out to Mission Valley Track. They had their runners sign up. So we had more than 60 runners out of our 300 were from Mission Valley Track. So it was really nice to see our partners come through for us and support our students. With Trustee Rafea, I was at the inauguration of the Makerspace at Easton, and huge shout out to Seema and her team. Jason, Naran, really great work. It was really good. It's an exciting time of the year, graduations, promotions, and all the good things we all work tirelessly for. So I'm excited for the next month.
All right. So yes, certificated employees, Teacher Appreciation Week. Shout out to all that you do for our district. It's unfortunate, it's just 1 week. It should be longer, but that's okay. I did mention that it was senior ball for Colony, Carabella, and Logan, April 20th there at the San Francisco Exploratorium. So it was pretty cool seeing on social media some of my classmates, family, posting pictures of their kids, and just it seemed like a great event. I just want to, because it's kind of heavy on my mind, just all the with the everything that's going on with the well, my proudest moment on the board is our ceasefire resolution, and you know, just troubling to hear in the news just all the death that is, you know, 34,000 and deaths that are happening, and 70% are women and children, you know, and so I'm just very proud to be on this board and just ceasefire, wanting peace. And so I just want to end with, I hope we get peace sometime soon, so we don't have to hear all this news is misfortune going on. So that's it. I'll go ahead and Superintendent.
All right, just a few. We, as a couple of Trustee Rafea and Vice President Kumar pointed out, we had a ribbon cutting to open up the Makerspace at Easton today. And that is a direct result of the bond Measure M money that supported that learning space. 2 weeks from now, we have a ribbon cutting at the opening the Makerspace at Easton. And then we'll have Makerspaces at Alvarado, Emmanuel, and Kittyama coming, and then every one of our elementary sites will have one of these spaces. So again, I'd like it just to remind everyone, that's Measure M money. That's our voters supporting our schools, and we really appreciate that. And it's a good example of how we've used that money to directly impact the classroom. So more to come on that. New Haven Day was great. I think, again, the award of the day goes to Vice President Kumar. That fun run was no joke. It took a lot of coordination, and it ran so smoothly. I was so happy to not have to be directly involved with that, and a great job on that. That was really fun to see. Next year's, you can put it on your calendar now. Next year's New Haven Day is Saturday, April 26th, 2025. So we've got it circled and set to go. Let's see. I would like to just again thank our student board members, both Daniel and Fatima. It's really important for us to hear student voices when we're making decisions, and both you and Daniel did a great job of reminding us that we need to keep the student voice present. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And in Employee Appreciation Month, where we celebrate all of our certificated classified and management employees. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, where we celebrate not only our teachers, but our certificated employees such as our speech language pathologists, our counselors. Tomorrow, for example, is School Nurse Day. So it's a good week for us to remember that we're here to support the teaching and learning in the classrooms, and our teachers are the most important piece of that. And then all of the other certificated employees really do play a huge role in making sure that the teachers have what they need to be able to give our kids the education they deserve. So thank you, everybody, for that. I personally enjoy watching all of our outstanding professionals work, and thank everybody for their efforts. So with that, I am done.
Okay, we'll go on to committee reports. Our first committee report is the Finance and Technology Facilities Committee. We're not meeting until May 28th. Okay, next one is the Communication and Advocacy Committee.
We did not have a
okay.
meeting since the last readout. Our next meeting is June 13th at 4 p.m.
Okay. And then the next one is our Policy Review Committee. And we met, but all the stuff is on the agenda for tonight that we approved. And then the next one is any other committees? Okay, Trustee Ruffey?
Like for the, Mission Valley ROP, we have, on the 9th, we have our graduation. And it's a, packed house. They've got over 500 people coming over there, and looking forward to that. And we don't have a meeting now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other committees? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Vice President Kumar to preside over the action items.
Thank you, President Gonzalez. Moving on to action items, item 13.1. May I have a motion and second to approve readmission for student 1?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 13.2, may I have a motion and second to approve revised board policy number BB 9100 organization?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13.3, may I have a motion and second to declare the board's commitment to move forward with the bond measure for the November 2024 election and give direction to staff to move forward with next steps?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 13.4, may I have a motion and second to approve resolution number 0612324, authorizing the issuance and sale of 2024 general obligation refunding bonds?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13.5, may I have a motion and second to approve resolution number 0602324, authorizing the purchase of Apple computer services and infrastructure to provide Apple MacBook laptops to certificated staff for 2023-24, 2024-25.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13.6, may I have a motion and second to approve a memorandum of understanding with Morrissey Compton for 2023-24, 2024-25.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13.7, may I have a motion and second to approve the contract with Youth Cinema Project for 2024-25.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13.8, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding between NHUSD and the California School Employees Association for food and nutrition services, adding an office technician position?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 14, are there any items from the consent agenda that any board member would like to pull for a separate vote? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion and second to approve items 14.1 through 14.53?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 15, since there was nothing removed from consent agenda, we can move on to item 16. Back to you, President Gonzalez.
Great, thank you, Vice President Kumar. We are on assessment and governance procedures. Anyone? Okay, one thing I do want to say is about when we have like awards. I think it could have been a little smoother, maybe just come up to the microphone, say your name or something like that, microphone, and just a better system of giving out the award. I mean, it went well, you know, what I mean, but I just think there could have been a little more, like we should have something standard practice of how we do things. So, okay, that's it. All right, board member requests. Trustee Nishar?
Yes, both of these are going to be in the goal 5 area, as I mentioned earlier today. I would like the staff to research what needs to be done to roll out sorting stations to be SB 1383 compliant across all of our schools. And then the second one is to research what we need to do, and maybe to research and put together a proposal for what we need to do to move away from milk cartons and move towards bulk milk distributions, because the box milk is current, it has lining, so it's actually not even compostable anymore. They've actually changed it, so now that it's actually landfill garbage. So both of these, both of the timing of these requests are, you know, at your staff's, at your staff's ability. There's nothing really pressing on it right now, but I would like to maybe start moving to figure out what we need to do to become compliant with that. Yeah. Are there any questions with regard to what the staff needs? Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick, with the, was it SB 1833?
SB 1383.
1333,
Mhm.
okay. Do they provide the bins for sorting? Or is that something we have to purchase?
Actually, that's a good question. That would be one of the things that I think that the staff would research in terms of there's a budget implication with regard to equipment that we have to provide. There might be grants that are available. I'm not exactly sure. But I would imagine it'd be able to come out of a capital budget, and it's the cost would be relatively, well, I don't know what the cost would be. So that would be one of the things that staff would have to research.
I think these are things that we can explore. Do we have consensus? Okay, good. Yeah, we'll put it on the list to explore. Certainly fits with goal 5.
Thank you.
Trustee Hernandez, did you have a hand up here? Okay, yes, Vice President Kumar?
Thank you. So early this year, I had brought in a recommendation of implementing math Olympiads in our school district. We've gone through a whole year of offering it. I've heard wonderful things from the community, and the parents are very happy about it. I would like to know more from the district side. So specifically, I had 2 questions. One is I was wondering if we could get information about how many students participated from each school site. That was one. And 2, I know Easton and Pioneer and IVC had instructional support, but I'd like to know if there was any instructional support offered at other school sites, or how did they handle it, if we have consensus, just so we can revisit that decision.
I'm happy you brought that up. I was also curious about the same topic, so thank you.
Great.
Looks like we have consensus, yeah.
Do you have clear?
Yeah,
direction?
definitely. We can provide that data.
Okay. Seeing no other comments, we'll go ahead and adjourn at 8:02. Good night, everyone. Don't forget to log out, everybody.
Thank you so much.